The marketplace of Orban Station buzzed with activity. Exotic wares lined the stalls, filling the air with the scent of alien spices. Captain John Mercer navigated the crowded aisles with practiced ease, his eyes scanning for his contact. He spotted a cloaked figure by a vendor and pushed through the crowd toward him. "There he is," John muttered, approaching the tall figure who revealed the face of Karan, a well-known trader and informant. "Captain Mercer," Karan greeted smoothly. "I have what you're looking for. Follow me." John followed Karan through a labyrinth of stalls and corridors to a dimly lit corner of the marketplace. A large, steel door loomed before them, guarded by 2 burly sentinels. Karan nodded to the guards, who stepped aside to allow them entry. Inside, a row of cages lined the walls, each containing a different alien creature. John's stomach churned. He despised slavery, but today he had a purpose. Karan led him to a cage at the far end. Inside was an alien woman, her deep blue skin adorned with glowing patterns. "This is Zara," Karan said, gesturing to her. "She's a rare find, intelligent, resourceful, and highly skilled." John felt a pang of guilt. "How much?" he asked gruffly. Karan named a price, and John handed over a pouch of credits. The deal was done. Karan opened the cage, and Zara stepped out cautiously, her eyes never leaving John's face. "I won't hurt you," John said softly. "I'm taking you with me." Zara didn't respond, but followed John out of the room and back into the bustling marketplace. As they made their way to the docking bay, John glanced at her, wondering what she was thinking. He never intended to own a slave, but Zara was different. She had skills that could be invaluable to his mission. Back on the ship, the crew eyed Zara warily as John led her on board. "This is Zara," John announced. "She's going to help us with our mission." The crew exchanged glances, but trusted John's judgment. He showed Zara to her quarters. "You'll stay here," he said, opening the door. "If you need anything, just ask." Zara looked around the cabin and nodded once before stepping inside and closing the door. John stood there for a moment, feeling a strange mix of relief and unease. He had taken a significant risk by buying Zara, and now he had to ensure it was worth it. As the ship prepared to depart Orban Station, John made his way to the bridge. He couldn't shake the feeling that this mission was about to get a lot more complicated. But he also couldn't deny the spark of hope he felt. Perhaps Zara would be more than just a valuable asset. Perhaps she would become something more. The Horizon sailed through space, its crew settling back into their routines. Zara, the newly acquired alien, stirred a mix of curiosity, fear, and resentment. In her cabin, Zara grappled with her new reality. She had known only slavery, but now, aboard a human ship, her future was uncertain. The fear of the unknown gnawed at her, but a flicker of hope remained. Captain John Mercer had shown her kindness, something she was unaccustomed to. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. It was John. "How are you settling in?" he asked gently. "It's different," Zara replied cautiously. "I'm not used to this." John nodded. "I know this is a big change. Take your time to adjust. If you need anything, just let me know." Zara hesitated. "Why did you buy me?" John took a deep breath. "I needed someone with your skills. But more than that, I couldn't stand the thought of you being enslaved. I wanted to give you a chance at a better life." Zara studied him, searching for any sign of deceit. Finding none, she nodded. "Thank you." "You're welcome. Dinner is in an hour. Join us if you feel up to it," John said before leaving. Meanwhile, in the mess hall, murmurs of discontent filled the air. "I don't trust her," Sarah, the ship's pilot, muttered. "We don't know anything about her." Raj, the ship's engineer, shrugged. She hasn't done anything to harm us. We should give her a chance. Captain Drake entered, silencing the murmurs. Zara is part of our crew now. Treat her with respect. Understood. The crew nodded reluctantly, their expressions a mix of curiosity and suspicion. That evening, Zara joined the crew for dinner. The atmosphere was tense, eyes watching her every move. She kept her head down, focusing on her meal. John broke the silence. Zara, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? Zara hesitated. I come from Cilia, a small, isolated planet. My people were taken as slaves by mercenaries. The crew listened, their curiosity piqued. Sarah softened slightly. That must have been tough. It was, Zara nodded. But I'm here now, and I want to make the best of it. As weeks passed, Zara found her place aboard the Horizon. She worked closely with Raj, her knowledge and skills quickly proving invaluable, earning her the crew's grudging respect. One day, while working on a tricky repair, Raj turned to Zara. You're really good at this. Where did you learn? Zara smiled, a rare sight. My father was an engineer. He taught me everything I know. Raj nodded, impressed. I'm glad you're here. We need all the help we can get. Zara felt a warmth spread through her. For the first time in a long while, she felt like she belonged. Despite the progress, tensions lingered. Some crew members struggled to fully accept Zara, their prejudices and fears lingering. But with each passing day, those barriers slowly began to crumble. One evening, Zara stood alone on the observation deck, gazing at the stars. John joined her, standing silently by her side. You're doing well, Zara. The crew is coming around, he said. Thank you, John. For everything, Zara replied softly. John placed a hand on her shoulder. You're one of us now. And we take care of our own. As they stood together, Zara felt a newfound sense of hope. Her journey was far from over, but she knew she was not alone. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, bound by a growing trust and a shared sense of purpose. Routine aboard the Horizon settled into a steady rhythm, but each day was a test of endurance and adaptation for Zara. Slowly, she began to earn the respect of some crew members through her hard work and skills, but true acceptance was still a long way off. Captain John Mercer decided to take a more active role in helping her adjust. One morning, as the crew gathered for their daily briefing, John made a point of acknowledging Zara's contributions. I want to commend Zara for her exceptional work on the engine repairs. Without her expertise, we'd be facing significant delays. Zara glanced up, surprised by the praise. The crew murmured in agreement, and she felt a flicker of warmth. It was a small gesture, but it meant a lot. Later that day, John found Zara in the maintenance bay, working diligently on a piece of equipment. How's it going? He asked, leaning against the doorframe. It's almost fixed. Just a few more adjustments, Zara replied, a faint smile on her lips. John nodded, stepping into the room. I thought you might like a break. I brought you something. He handed her a small, intricately carved box. Zara opened it to find a collection of tools, each one perfectly suited for the delicate work she often performed. These are amazing, she said, her eyes shining with gratitude. Thank you. John smiled. You deserve them. You've been working hard, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. As the days passed, John continued to show Zara small acts of kindness. He made sure she had everything she needed for her work and took the time to teach her about human customs and traditions. In turn, Zara shared her own culture, explaining the significance of the glowing patterns on her skin and the history of her people. Their conversations built a bridge, slowly fostering trust and understanding. John learned that Zara's people, the Scythians, valued community and cooperation above all else. They had been a peaceful race before being enslaved by the mercenaries. One evening, John and Zara sat in the common area, discussing their lives. "What was your home like?" John asked, genuinely curious. Zara's expression softened with nostalgia. "It was beautiful. Our cities were built into the mountains, surrounded by forests and rivers. We lived in harmony with nature." "It sounds like paradise." "I'm sorry it was taken from you," John said, his voice filled with empathy. "Thank you. But I believe in moving forward." "There's no point in dwelling on what we've lost," Zara replied, her resilience evident. John admired her strength and decided to share something personal in return. "I lost my parents when I was young," he admitted. "I grew up on a space station, raised by the community. That's why I joined the fleet. I wanted to explore, to find a place where I belonged." "We're not so different, you and I. Both searching for a place to call home," Zara said, a new understanding in her eyes. As weeks turned into months, Zara and John's bond deepened. They faced numerous challenges together, from hostile encounters with space pirates to navigating treacherous asteroid fields. Each obstacle they overcame strengthened their trust and reliance on one another. One day, during a particularly tense repair, Zara's quick thinking saved the ship from disaster. The crew's respect for her grew, and they began to see her as one of their own. Sarah approached Zara after the incident, a hesitant smile on her face. "You did great out there. I'm glad you're with us." "Thank you, Sarah." "It means a lot," Zara replied, feeling a genuine connection forming. Raj joined them, clapping Zara on the back. "You've got some serious skills. We're lucky to have you." Zara felt a sense of belonging she hadn't experienced in a long time. These small acts of kindness and the growing trust among the crew were transforming her life aboard the Horizon. That evening, as the crew gathered for dinner, John raised a toast. "To Zara, for proving that no matter where we come from, we can all find a place where we belong." The crew raised their glasses, their voices united. "To Zara." As she looked around at her new family, Zara realized that she had found more than just acceptance. She had found a home. As Zara continued to integrate into the crew of the Horizon, the bonds of trust and friendship grew stronger. Captain John Mercer decided it was time for a cultural exchange to deepen their understanding of each other's backgrounds and foster a sense of unity. One evening, John gathered the crew in the common area. "We've come a long way as a team, but there's still so much we can learn from each other. Tonight, I'd like us to share our cultures and histories." The crew nodded in agreement, their curiosity piqued. Zara stood up, her eyes reflecting both excitement and nervousness. "I'd like to go first," she said softly. John gestured for her to proceed. "The floor is yours, Zara." Zara took a deep breath, her mind flashing back to her home planet, Scylla. "My people, the Scythians, lived in harmony with nature. Our cities nestled in mountains, surrounded by forests and rivers. We believed in the balance between progress and preservation. Our culture revolved around storytelling and music. Every night, we would gather to share stories of our ancestors and sing songs passed down through generations." She reached into a pouch and pulled out a small, intricate instrument. "This is a lyra. It's used to accompany our songs." Zara began to play a hauntingly beautiful melody, her fingers moving deftly over the strings. The music filled the room, evoking images of her distant homeland. The crew was spellbound, their hearts touched by the raw emotion in Zara's performance. When she finished, there was a moment of silence before the crew erupted into applause. "That was incredible," Raj said, his voice filled with awe. "Thank you for sharing that with us." "Thank you for listening." "It means a lot to me," Zara replied, her eyes shining with gratitude. Next, John stood up, holding a small, weathered book. This is a collection of poems from Earth. Poetry has always been a way for humans to express our deepest emotions and connect with each other. He read a short poem, his voice steady and evocative. The words painted a vivid picture of love and longing, resonating deeply with the crew. Poetry helps us understand each other's experiences and emotions. It's a universal language. The evening continued with each crew member sharing a piece of their culture. Sarah demonstrated a traditional dance from her home colony, while Raj explained the significance of a festival celebrated on his home planet. Elena shared a recipe for a dish from her childhood, and the crew promised to try making it together. The cultural exchange brought the crew closer together, creating a tapestry of shared experiences and mutual respect. Zara felt a growing sense of belonging, her heart warmed by the acceptance and camaraderie. As the night drew to a close, John addressed the crew. "We've learned so much about each other tonight. Let's carry this understanding and respect forward as we continue our journey. Together, we can achieve anything." The crew nodded in agreement, their spirits lifted by the evening's events. They had not only shared their cultures, but also strengthened their bonds as a team. Later, as Zara and John stood on the observation deck, gazing out at the stars, Zara felt a deep sense of peace. "Thank you for tonight. It meant a lot to me," she said softly. John smiled, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "It meant a lot to all of us. You're part of this crew, Zara. We're in this together." As they stood side by side, watching the endless expanse of space, Zara knew that she had found not just a crew but a family. The cultural exchange had been a turning point, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their journey together. The Horizon's journey continued smoothly after the cultural exchange, but tension still lingered beneath the surface. Some crew members struggled with deep-seated prejudices, and their attitudes toward Zara were slow to change. The crew's next encounter would force them to confront these biases head-on. One morning, alarms jolted the crew awake. John rushed to the bridge, finding Sarah and Raj already at their stations, tense and focused. "What's going on?" John demanded. "We've picked up a distress signal," Sarah reported. "It's coming from a nearby vessel. It's heavily damaged and needs immediate assistance. Prepare to engage. Let's see what we're dealing with," John ordered. As the Horizon approached the distressed ship, the crew prepared for a potential rescue mission. John addressed them over the intercom. "We're about to board a damaged vessel. Stay alert and be ready for anything." The boarding party consisted of John, Sarah, Raj, and Zara. They donned their protective gear and entered the airlock. Inside the damaged ship, chaos reigned. The ship's crew, an alien species unfamiliar to the Horizon team, were in a state of panic. A tall figure with iridescent scales stepped forward. "Help us," he pleaded. "Our ship is failing. We need immediate repairs." "We're here to help. Let's start with the critical systems," John reassured him. As the team began their work, Zara took the lead on repairing the ship's engine, her expertise shining through. Raj assisted her, while Sarah and John coordinated with the alien crew. Despite the urgency, some of the alien crew eyed Zara with suspicion. One approached John. "Why do you have a Cillian with you?" he asked, his tone hostile. John's expression hardened. "Zara is a valuable member of our crew. She's here to help. You can't trust her kind." "They're all the same," the alien scoffed. John's eyes flashed with anger, but he kept his voice calm. "Zara has proven her loyalty and skills. If you want our help, treat her with respect." The alien grumbled, but stepped back. As the repairs continued, Zara felt the weight of prejudice against her, but focused on her work, determined to prove her worth. Hours passed, and the team's efforts paid off. The ship's critical system stabilized, and the immediate threat was averted. The alien crew expressed their gratitude, albeit begrudgingly. Thank you, their leader said to John. We owe you our lives. Just remember, everyone deserves a chance to prove themselves, John replied. As the team returned to the horizon, the encounter left a lasting impression. John gathered the crew for a debriefing. Today, we saw the damage that prejudice can cause. We can't afford to let biases divide us. We're stronger together. Zara's skills saved that ship. It's time we all recognize her value and treat her with the respect she deserves, Sarah said thoughtfully. Raj nodded in agreement. We've come a long way, but we still have work to do. Let's make sure we support each other fully. Zara felt a surge of emotion as she looked around at her crewmates. Their words of support meant more than they could know. She had faced prejudice and overcome it, proving her worth through her actions. Later that evening, Zara and John stood on the observation deck. Thank you for standing up for me, Zara said softly. John smiled, his eyes warm. You've earned it, Zara. We're a team, and we look out for each other. As they stood side by side, Zara felt a deep sense of belonging. She knew the journey ahead would be challenging, but with the support of her crew, she was ready to face whatever came their way. The incident with the alien ship had left the crew of the Horizon with much to think about. It had tested their unity and shown the lingering prejudices that still needed to be overcome. Yet, it also underscored the strength they could find in their diversity. As they continued their journey, Zara's place among them solidified, but another challenge loomed on the horizon. One evening, as Zara was working with Raj on a delicate repair in the engineering bay, the ship suddenly shuddered. Alarms blared, and the lights flickered. What's happening? Zara shouted over the din. Raj's fingers flew over the controls. We're experiencing a massive power surge. It's coming from the main reactor. Captain John Mercer's voice crackled over the intercom. All hands to their stations. We need to stabilize the reactor before it overloads. Zara and Raj raced to the reactor core, where the situation was dire. Sparks flew, and the reactor's containment field flickered dangerously. We need to reroute the power flow, Raj said tensely. If we don't, the core will breach. Zara nodded, her mind racing. I have an idea. We can use the secondary conduits to create a temporary bypass. It will buy us some time. Together, they worked frantically, implementing Zara's plan. Seconds ticked by, each one bringing them closer to disaster. Finally, with a final adjustment, the reactor stabilized. We did it, Raj said, his relief palpable. The reactor's stable. John entered the engineering bay, his expression a mix of concern and relief. Good work, both of you. What caused the surge? Raj scanned the data readouts, his eyes widening in surprise. It looks like an external energy source triggered it. Something out there is affecting our systems. Zara's brow furrowed. We need to find out what it is. If it happens again, we might not be so lucky. Agreed. Let's scan the surrounding space and see if we can identify the source, John said. As they conducted the scans, Zara noticed a faint signal, almost imperceptible against the background noise of space. There, she pointed to the screen. That signal. It's the same frequency as the surge. Good catch. Let's trace it and see where it leads, John said. The crew worked together, following the signal to its source. They found a massive, ancient structure floating in the void, its surface covered in intricate designs that pulsed with energy. What is that? Sarah asked, awe in her voice. John's expression was one of deep contemplation. It looks like some kind of ancient alien technology. We need to investigate, but we have to be careful. This could be incredibly dangerous. Zara felt a strange pull towards the structure, a sense of familiarity she couldn't quite place. I think we should go. There's something about it. I feel like it's calling to me. John looked at her, concern in his eyes. Are you sure? Zara nodded, her resolve firm. Yes. I need to know what this is. The crew prepared for an away mission, their curiosity and caution in equal measure. As they approached the structure, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that it held answers to questions she hadn't even known to ask. They docked with the structure and entered cautiously. Inside, the walls glowed with an ethereal light, and strange symbols adorned every surface. Zara moved through the corridors with a sense of purpose, her mind racing with possibilities. In the heart of the structure, they found a central chamber. A massive, pulsating crystal dominated the room, radiating an energy that Zara could feel in her very bones. This is incredible, Raj said, awe in his voice. This technology is beyond anything we've ever seen. Zara approached the crystal, her hand outstretched. As her fingers brushed the surface, a surge of energy coursed through her, flooding her mind with images and knowledge. I can see it, she whispered. This technology, it's connected to my people. It's a part of our history. John stepped forward, his expression intense. What does it mean, Zara? Zara turned to face him, her eyes glowing with newfound understanding. It means that my people were once part of something much greater. This structure holds the key to unlocking our past and shaping our future. As the crew stood in the ancient chamber, they realized their journey had taken on a new dimension. They were no longer just exploring space, they were uncovering the lost legacy of Zara's people. We need to study this, John said, his voice filled with determination. It could change everything. Zara nodded, feeling a profound sense of purpose. And I'm ready to discover it. For my people, and for our future. The discovery of the ancient alien structure and its connection to Zara's people left the crew of the Horizon in awe. They spent days studying the technology and uncovering fragments of Zara's lost heritage. The shared mission brought the crew even closer together, but it also deepened the bond between Zara and John. One evening, after a long day of research, Zara and John lingered in the crystal-lit chamber. The warm light fostered an intimate atmosphere. This place is incredible, Zara said, wonder in her voice. It's like discovering a part of myself I never knew existed. I'm glad we found this. It's important, not just for your people, but for all of us. It's a reminder of how much we still have to learn, John replied. Thank you for believing in me, for giving me a chance, Zara said, gratitude and affection in her eyes. John smiled, his gaze steady. You've more than earned it, Zara. You've become an invaluable part of this crew, and to me. The moment stretched between them, filled with unspoken emotions. Zara took a step closer, her heart pounding. I never imagined I'd find a place where I belonged, let alone someone who understood me. John reached out, gently taking her hand. You're not alone, Zara. We're in this together, no matter what. Their connection deepened over the following weeks as they continued to explore the structure and unravel its secrets. They shared intimate moments, revealing their deepest fears and dreams. The walls that had once separated them crumbled, replaced by growing affection and mutual respect. One night, as they sat together on the observation deck of the Horizon, John turned to Zara, his expression serious. Zara, I need to tell you something. I've been thinking a lot about us, and I realize how much you mean to me. I care about you deeply. Zara's heart swelled with emotion. I care about you too, John. More than I ever thought possible. John took her hand, his touch gentle but firm. I want us to face whatever comes next together, as partners. You're not just a member of the crew to me. You're much more. Zara smiled, her eyes shining with happiness. I feel the same way, John. I want to be with you, to build a future together. Their relationship blossomed, built on trust, respect, and a deep emotional connection. The crew noticed the change, their initial reservations replaced by genuine support and happiness for their friends. Raj, ever the joker, teased them gently one day. "So, when's the wedding?" he asked with a grin. John and Zara laughed, their happiness contagious. "Dash one step at a time, Raj," John replied, his arm around Zara's shoulders. Despite the joy they found in each other, their journey was far from over. The mysteries of the alien structure continued to unfold, presenting new challenges and dangers. But with their growing affection and the unwavering support of their crew, Zara and John were ready to face whatever lay ahead. The crew of the Horizon continued to delve into the secrets of the ancient alien structure. Their discoveries were profound, revealing advanced technologies and a deeper understanding of Zara's heritage. However, their activities had not gone unnoticed, and an external threat was rapidly closing in on them. One day, as the crew was working inside the structure, the ship's alarms blared, signaling an incoming danger. Captain John Mercer rushed to the bridge, his heart pounding with urgency. "Sarah, what's happening?" John demanded. Sarah's fingers flew over the controls, her face pale. "We've got incoming ships. They're heavily armed and closing in fast. I don't recognize their signatures. Get everyone back on board. We need to prepare for a possible confrontation," John ordered. The crew quickly abandoned their research and returned to the Horizon. As they strapped in and prepared for evasive maneuvers, John addressed them over the intercom. "We're facing an unknown threat. Everyone, stay sharp and follow protocol. We'll get through this together." The enemy ships appeared on the view screen, sleek and menacing. They fired without warning, and the Horizon shook under the impact of the energy blasts. "Return fire," John ordered. "Focus on their weapons systems." Sarah and Raj worked in tandem, coordinating their efforts to defend the ship. Zara, who had learned much about the Horizon systems, joined them, her quick thinking and technical skills proving invaluable. "We've disabled one of their ships," Raj reported, a note of triumph in his voice. "But there are still 3 more." Zara's eyes narrowed as she studied the enemy ships on the screen. "We need to find a way to outmaneuver them. They're faster than us, but we might be able to use the asteroid field nearby to our advantage." "Good idea. Sarah, plot a course through the asteroid field. Let's see if we can lose them in there," John said. The Horizon darted into the asteroid field, the enemy ships hot on their trail. Sarah navigated with skill, weaving between the massive rocks, while Raj and Zara worked on maintaining the ship systems. The chase was intense, with the enemy ships firing relentlessly. But the Horizon's crew was determined, their teamwork and resilience shining through. As they navigated the treacherous field, they managed to take out another enemy ship, reducing the threat. Suddenly, a massive asteroid loomed ahead, its surface covered in jagged rocks. "We're not going to make it through that gap," Sarah exclaimed. "We need to use the tractor beam to move that smaller asteroid and create a path." "Zara, can you handle it?" John asked. "I've got it," Zara replied, her hand steady on the controls. She activated the tractor beam, carefully maneuvering the asteroid out of their way. The Horizon slipped through the newly created gap just as the remaining enemy ships crashed into the larger asteroid, unable to avoid the collision. "We did it," Sarah said, relief in her voice. "The enemy ships are down. Good work, everyone. Let's get out of here and regroup," John said, letting out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. As they left the asteroid field, the crew took a moment to catch their breath. The external threat had been neutralized, but the encounter left them with a sobering realization. Their discoveries had drawn unwanted attention, and they needed to be more vigilant than ever. Later, as the crew gathered in the mess hall, John addressed them. "We've faced a formidable enemy today and come out stronger. But we need to stay alert. We're not just explorers, we're protectors of something much bigger. We've learned so much, but there's still more to uncover. Together, we can face any threat and continue our mission, Zara added, her expression resolute. The crew nodded in agreement, their spirits lifted by their shared determination. They had faced an external threat and emerged victorious, ready to protect their discoveries and each other. The Horizon crew had faced numerous challenges, but the external threat had reminded them of the dangers lurking in the vastness of space. The newfound knowledge and technologies from the alien structure had made them a target, and they needed to stay vigilant. However, another trial awaited them, one that would test their loyalty and courage to the utmost. One day, as the crew was conducting routine maintenance, the ship's alarms blared once more. Captain John Mercer rushed to the bridge, finding Sarah and Raj already at their stations. "What's the situation?" John asked, his voice tense. Sarah's eyes were wide with concern. "We've detected a massive energy surge. It's coming from the alien structure. It's destabilizing." John's heart sank. The structure held invaluable knowledge, but it was also a powerful energy source. If it destabilized, the resulting explosion could destroy the Horizon and everything in its vicinity. "We need to evacuate the area. Prepare the ship for immediate departure," John ordered. As the crew scrambled to comply, Zara approached John, her expression resolute. "We can't just leave it to explode. There might be a way to stabilize it, but it's risky." "What do you need?" John asked. "I need to access the core of the structure. If I can reroute the energy flow, I might be able to stabilize it." "But I'll need help," Zara explained. "Raj, Sarah, you're with Zara. Get what you need and go. The rest of us will prepare for emergency measures," John said. The team quickly gathered their equipment and made their way back to the alien structure. Inside, the energy surges were more intense, the entire place vibrating with the force of the impending disaster. "We need to move fast," Zara said, her voice steady. "Raj, monitor the energy levels. Sarah, help me access the core." They worked together, their movements precise and coordinated. The pressure was immense, but Zara's calm focus kept them on track. At the core, Zara's hands flew over the controls, rerouting energy. "Energy levels still rising," Raj warned. "Time's running out." "Just a little more, there. I've rerouted the main conduit." "It should stabilize now," Zara said. The structure's vibrations began to subside, the energy surges diminishing. The team let out a collective sigh of relief, but their respite was short-lived. "We've got a problem," Raj said grimly. "The secondary conduits are overloading. We need to manually shut them down. That means someone has to stay here to do it. The rest of you need to get back to the Horizon," Zara said, her heart sinking.
"No, Zara.
"We're not leaving you behind." John's voice came over the comms, filled with concern. "I can do this, John." "It's the only way to save everyone," Zara replied, determination in her eyes. The team hesitated, torn between their duty and their loyalty. Finally, John spoke. "All right. But be careful. We're coming back for you." As the team returned to the Horizon, Zara remained in the structure, working frantically to shut down the secondary conduits. The energy surges became more violent, but she pushed through, driven by a fierce determination to save her crew. On the Horizon, John watched the structure anxiously, his heart aching with fear for Zara. "We need to be ready to extract her as soon as she's done," he said, his voice filled with resolve. Minutes stretched into eternity as Zara worked. Finally, with a final, desperate effort, she shut down the last conduit. The structure stabilized, the energy surges subsiding. "Zara, it's done." John's voice came over the comms, filled with relief. "Get out of there. We're ready to extract you." Zara made her way back through the structure, her body trembling with exhaustion. As she reached the exit, she saw the Horizons shuttle waiting for her. She collapsed into John's arms as he pulled her aboard, relief and gratitude washing over her. "You did it," John said, his voice choked with emotion. "You saved us all." "We did it." "Together," Zara replied, warmth in her eyes. As the crew welcomed Zara back, their hearts swelled with pride and gratitude. She had risked everything for them, demonstrating her loyalty and courage beyond measure. That evening, as they gathered for a quiet celebration, John raised a toast. "To Zara, for her bravery and sacrifice. We owe you our lives." The crew raised their glasses, their voices united. "To Zara." As Zara looked around at her new family, she felt a profound sense of belonging. She had proven herself in the face of unimaginable danger, and she knew she would always have a place among them. The Horizons crew had faced countless challenges together, but Zara's recent sacrifice had cemented her place among them. The days following the successful stabilization of the alien structure were filled with a renewed sense of purpose and camaraderie. The crew was closer than ever, their bond forged in the fires of adversity. One morning, as the crew gathered for their daily briefing, Captain John Mercer addressed them with a solemn expression. "We've come a long way together, and we've achieved incredible things. But there's something important we need to discuss." The crew listened intently, sensing the gravity of John's words. "Zara," he continued, turning to face her, "you've proven yourself time and again. You've shown incredible courage, skill, and loyalty. It's time we acknowledge your true place among us." Zara looked at John, a mix of anticipation and uncertainty in her eyes. "What do you mean?" John took a deep breath. "You're no longer a slave, Zara. From this moment on, you are a free member of this crew, with all the rights and responsibilities that come with it." The crew erupted into applause, their faces beaming with pride and happiness. Zara's eyes filled with tears as she stood there, overwhelmed by the moment. "Thank you," she said, her voice choked with emotion. "I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything. You've earned this," John smiled, his eyes warm. The crew gathered around Zara, congratulating her and expressing their joy. It was a moment of liberation, not just for Zara, but for the entire crew. They had fought against prejudice, faced immense dangers, and emerged stronger, united by their shared experiences. As the celebrations continued, Zara found a quiet moment with John on the observation deck. "I can't believe this is happening," she said softly. "I've dreamed of freedom for so long, but I never thought it would come true." John took her hand, his touch gentle. "You deserve this, Zara. You've earned your place here, and you've earned your freedom. We're all better because of you." "Thank you, John." "For everything," Zara said, feeling a profound sense of peace and belonging. "This is just the beginning, Zara. We have so much more to discover and explore." "And we'll do it together, as partners," John replied. The days turned into weeks, and the Horizon continued its journey through the stars. The crew worked tirelessly to uncover the secrets of the alien structure, their discoveries leading to new technologies and insights that would shape their future. Zara's role on the ship evolved, her contributions becoming even more invaluable. She led research missions, coordinated with other crew members, and continued to share her knowledge and culture. Her relationship with John deepened, their bond becoming a source of strength and inspiration for the entire crew. One evening, as the ship sailed through the endless expanse of space, the crew gathered for a special dinner. The atmosphere was filled with warmth and camaraderie, a testament to the journey they had shared. John raised his glass, his voice filled with pride. "To Zara, for her courage and resilience. And to all of us, for proving that together, we can overcome anything." The crew raised their glasses, their voices united. "To Zara, and to our future." As Zara looked around at her new family, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had found not just freedom, but a place where she belonged. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, ready to explore new horizons and build a future filled with hope and possibility. Don't miss our next thrilling sci-fi adventure. Click the suggested video to dive into another captivating tale from the Sci-Fi Story Vault. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more epic stories. Join us as we journey through the stars and beyond.